Hello and welcome to Pathways. Our program is dedicated to global spiritual awakening. My name is John Zsurka. I will be your host today. And our topic of discussion will be, what is happiness? How does happiness, be derived? How is it derived from spirituality and spiritual life? And I'm very pleased to welcome back a very special guest. We have Sarva-drk. I'll tell you a little bit about him. Sarva-drk is his spiritual name, which was given to him by his spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, or the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He has founded this Krishna Consciousness movement here in the United States and the world over. Sarva-drk has been his disciple since 1973, an impressive 38 years now. Sarva-drk lives in a place called Prabhupada Village, named after his spiritual master, located in Sandy Ridge, North Carolina, and it is a residential farm community. Yes?
Yes, it is.
You have and still do, Sarva-drk, travel extensively teaching Krishna consciousness from the Bhagavad-gita, 5,000-year-old sacred text, and the Vedanta literatures.
Yes.
Very well, very nice, very good, thank you. And you also grow organic fruit and vegetables in your spare time.
Yes, myself and my wife. Truth must be known, my wife does a lot of the work.
You have been doing a lot of the work, yes. But you're a good instructor?
We work on it together.
Yeah, it's good.
One hand washes another.
Well, welcome to the program.
Thank you, John.
It's wonderful to have you back again. Thank you for being here. And I'd like to also introduce Thakor Topiwala. Born and raised in a Hindu family in India.
Yes, sir.
He has been here in the United States for 40 years now. He has a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, is currently retired from working life, but he is actively working in interfaith activities and with United World Religion. He is serving the same spiritual master, Swami Prabhupada, in spreading this Krishna consciousness movement in the United States and abroad as well. Yes. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure
being here. Yeah, very, very nice to have you back again. So, our topic today: what is happiness? Let me start with you, Sarva-drk, if I could. What is the big deal about trying to be happy? Why do people invest so much of their life and time pursuing happiness?
The Vedanta Sutra says, Anandamayo Bhyasa, that each and every living being is by nature pleasure-seeking. It's who we are. Every living being is seeking some kind of happiness, whether it's a dog or a cat or an insect. What to speak of human beings, we're all looking for happiness. But unfortunately, we're looking in the wrong place. Our spiritual master gave an example that looking for happiness in the material world through our senses, our sense of sight, of touch, of smell, of taste, is like a foolish man who goes to the desert looking for water. There's no water in the desert. So why go looking in the desert for water? Happiness comes from inside out, not from outside in. Happiness comes from a relationship with God.
Thakor Topiwala, what would you say? Why are people pursuing happiness in such a relentless way?
See, according to the Vedanta philosophy and according to the teaching of the Bhagavad-gita, Krishna himself is a Satchidananda Vigraha, Satchid Anand. He is also full of happiness. And we are a part of, Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, we are being a part of him. It is our nature to be happy in this material world. But somehow or other, like Sarva-drk Prabhu says, we have geared our happiness in a wrong direction, material happiness, then in a spiritual standpoint of view. Our true nature is to be happy in relationship with the God, because God also in that mode all the time in happiness. Satchidananda Vigraha is full of knowledge, who is full of bliss and full of happiness. So that is what the nature, and that's why we are looking for.
So this relationship with God,
relationship with the God,
eternal happiness. Yeah.
Yes.
It's important to distinguish too when we talk about that I want to be happiness. We should define I, because most people think of I in terms of our race, our gender, our bodily structure. Am I tall, short, skinny, fat, beautiful, ugly, strong, weak, smart, dumb? We define ourselves in terms of the body. The body is a vehicle for the soul. I'm not the body. I say this is my hand, or my head, or my shoulder. It's mine, it's not me. I don't say me shoulder, me head, me hand. They're mine. I'm the consciousness, the soul. Consciousness is a symptom of the soul, really. I'm the soul within the body. And for me to be happy, because I'm fully spiritual, I have to find spiritual happiness. I can't find happiness in matter, because I'm spiritual by nature. That's the identity of the soul, eternal identity of the soul. We can't find happiness in matter through this body. We can find temporary pleasure, but pleasure isn't happiness. It doesn't equate to actual satisfaction.
You can't find lasting spiritual happiness through material means.
Exactly.
See, happiness is not a sectarian. It's meant for all the people all the time. It has nothing to do with any specific religious. Suppose if you are eating certain kind of food, if a Christian eats, Muslim eats, and Hindu eats, the happiness they derive from eating that food is a common happiness. So
Sure.
We cannot say that happiness is sectarian.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, well, can you define real happiness for me?
Happiness is spiritual. It's not, because material happiness is a pendulum. It swings both ways. It's like Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, it's like summer and winter seasons. Agama painuntas tamsitiksha sabharata. One should learn to tolerate the onslaught of happiness and distress, because there's not much we can do about it. Sometimes we're happy, we got a raise, our income tax refund came, somebody loves us, we had a kid, we got a new job, we got a new car. Wow, I'm happy. But all of those things are temporary, because new car may get wrecked. The husband or wife may leave you. The child may die even. So many things come to us beyond our control to have them. No one goes to the church, the synagogue, or the mosque and prays to God, give me trouble. I hope my wife or husband leaves me. I hope my kid dies. I hope I lose my job. But disaster comes to us. Our proposition, according to what we've learned from Bhagavad-gita, is that happiness comes in exactly the same way. You don't have to pray for it. God knows what we need, and we get our certain amount of predestined happiness, and we have to suffer predestined distress. But both happiness and distress come, according to Bhagavad-gita, according to exactly as the winter and summer seasons. And now it's just the end of summer, and it's like there's a little cool breeze, it's warm during the day, it's such a beautiful time of year. But we know the winter's coming. And winter's here, and we know the hot summer's coming. We're not in charge of the weather. Neither are we in charge of external material happiness and distress. There's a level of spiritual happiness, transcendental to material happiness and distress, and that we access by a spiritual process. And that's the only real platform of happiness.
So this prescribed amount of happiness and distress that everyone encounters in their life, is that a function of, would you call that karma?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Otherwise, God's playing favorites, isn't he? This guy's house is going to burn down. I don't like him. He didn't go to church. I'll burn his house. This isn't God. Or this one, I'll arbitrarily bless this one. He can win the lottery. I'll burn this one's house, and this guy can win the lottery. God isn't playing, he's not playing favorites. Krishna, or God, isn't playing favorites. Rather, we've created by our prior activity, our prior karma or work. Karma literally means work. So by our prior karma or work, we've created a positive or negative situation in this life. You could say this life is a mirror of our previous life's activities. Why is someone full of good health and happiness and prosperity and good looks and all the things that people are looking for in life, and someone else is born crippled or deformed or poverty-stricken or diseased? Is God playing favorites? Oh, I like you, but I don't like you. God doesn't play favorites. He says in this Bhagavad-gita, Samaham sarva-bhuteshu nami dveshtosti na priya, that he's equally well-disposed towards everyone. He loves everyone. And we've created our unhappiness or our happiness by our prior activity. And we need to accept responsibility for that.
So it's based on our own activities.
Yeah. Isn't that what you learned? And
both in this life and a previous life, that causes the amount of happiness, distress that we experience.
See, sometimes we question, why good thing happen to the bad people and a bad thing happen to the good people in a subtle forms we never can realize. But also the happiness also depends on the individuality. Suppose somebody is go to the stores and steal something, and when he steals something, brings something home, and he just enjoy that happiness, because he was successful to steal something. But at the same time, other fellow who just gives something in a charity and they try to do something good for others, but look at the quality of happiness, and that's where the reactions of actions and of our karma arise. That's what we have to define, what is actually quality of happiness and how we deal it.
That reminds me of one thing. Sometimes people want to blame God.
Yes.
If there's some disaster in life, some calamity that comes, they want to blame God. Why has God done this? It's all His fault. And this is something like a prisoner who's sitting in the prison, locked up, eating simple food, no freedom, with whatever prison life is. He's not happy there. And why can't he? Is it right for him to shake his fist and blame the government? It's the damn governor who's done this. It's his fault. No, you broke the law, and you're in prison because you broke the law. So as there's laws that apply, that are applicable for human society within a state or particular national milieu, there's also laws that apply for all of human society. And we break the laws, if we transgress the laws of God, we get a negative reaction. It's not His fault.
Yes.
We break the law, you get the reaction. And conversely, if we follow the laws of God, then life goes very smoothly. We can expect prosperity, we can expect happiness, peace of mind, morality. We can expect all these things in our life by following the laws of God. But if we reject them, we land within the prison. And this whole material creation is called Durga. It's a prison. So we're encased in this material body, working under the illusion that I'll be happy by satisfying my senses. And if I satisfy my senses, this will make me so happy. But it simply increases the duration of our entanglement in the material world.
By satisfying the senses.
Yeah. We have to satisfy senses to some degree. We have to eat something, we have to have a place to live, family life, all these things. But beyond that, then we transgress the laws of God. The Ishopanishad says, Isha vasyamidam sarvam jatkincha jagatam jagat tena chaktena bunjita magradaha kasisudhanam. Which means that God is the proprietor, owner, and controller of the entire creation. And He set aside for us a particular quota that by which we're maintained. If we go outside that, then we transgress the laws of God and we're culpable.
See, there is one example of a spiritual master, I recall it at this time, when he was traveling, a lot of time, the news media will try to, interview him, everything. And our spiritual master, sometimes he will get a ride with somebody, in a most expensive car, Lexus car and Cadillac car and everything. So reporter asked, you are a sannyasi, you are a monk, why you are riding in this, So he said, for you it is a Lexus and Cadillac and all this name brand, makes you happy. But for me it is nothing but the metal, spirit, metals and rubbers and plastic. So see, for him it was just transportation, but other people is a name brand, that makes him happy. Oh, because I am riding in a Lexus, his happiness is greater than anybody else.
For him, one car is as good as the next.
The transportation is more important to carry you from one place to another.
It's just the facility that it provides.
The facility provides you.
Yeah.